Good evening. I'm going to read you a bedtime story. This one is called Toads and Diamonds. Okay. There was once upon a time a widow who had two daughters. The eldest was so much like her in the face and humor that whoever looked upon the daughter saw the mother. They were both so disagreeable and so proud that there was no living with them. The youngest, who was the very picture of her father for courtesy and sweetness of temper, was withal one of the most beautiful girls ever seen. As people naturally love their own likeness, this mother even doted on her eldest daughter, and at the same time had a horrible aversion for the youngest. She made her eat in the kitchen and work continually. Among other things, this poor child was forced twice a day to draw water above 1.5 miles off the house and bring home a pitcher full of it. One day, as she was at this fountain, there came a poor woman who begged of her to let her drink. "Oh, oh, with all my heart, goody," said this pretty little girl, and rinsing immediately the pitcher, she took some water from the cleanest place of the fountain and gave it to her, holding up the pitcher all the while that she might drink easier. The good woman, having drunk, said to her, "You are so very pretty, my dear, so good and so mannerly, that I cannot help giving you a gift." For this was a fairy who had taken the form of a poor country woman to see how far the civility and good manners of this pretty girl would go. "I will give you for a gift," continued the fairy, "that at every word you speak there shall come out of your mouth either a flower or a jewel." When this pretty girl came home, her mother scolded at her for staying so long at the fountain. "I beg your pardon, mamma," said the poor girl, "for not making more haste." And in speaking these words, there came out of her mouth 2 roses, 2 pearls, and 2 diamonds. "What is this I see here?" said her mother, quite astonished. "I think I see pearls and diamonds come out of the girl's mouth. How does this happen, child?" This was the first time she ever called her child. The poor creature told her frankly all the matter, not without dropping out infinite numbers of diamonds. "In good faith," cried the mother, "I must send my child. Come here, Fanny. Look at what comes out of your sister's mouth when she speaks. Would not be glad, my dear, to have the same gift given to you? You have nothing else to do but go and draw water out of the fountain, and when a certain poor woman asks you to let her drink, you give it to her very civilly. It would be a very fine sight indeed," said the ill-bred minx, "to see me go draw water." "You shall go," said the mother, "and this very minute." So away she went, grumbling the whole way, taking with her the best silver tankard in the house. She was no sooner at the fountain than she saw coming out of the woods a lady most gloriously dressed, who came up to her and asked to drink. This was, you must know, the same fairy who appeared to her sister, but had now taken the air and dress of a princess, to see how far this girl's rudeness would go. Am I come here, said the proud, saucy girl, to serve you with water? I suppose the silver tankard was brought purely for your lordship, was it? However, you may drink of it if you fancy. You're not over and above manners, answered the fairy, without putting herself in a passion. Well then, since you have so little breeding and are so disobliging, I give you for gift that at every word you speak there shall come out of your mouth a snake or a toad. So soon as her mother saw her coming, she cried out, Well, daughter? Well, mother, answered the pert child, throwing out of her mouth two vipers and two toads. Oh, mercy! cried the mother. What is this? Oh, is it that wretch that her sister has occasioned all this, but she shall pay for it. And immediately she ran to beat her sister. The poor child fled away from her and went to hide herself in the forest not far from there. The king's son then on his return from hunting met her, and seeing this very pretty girl, asked her what she was doing there alone and why she was crying. Oh, sir, my mother has put me out of the house. The king's son, who saw 5 or 6 pearls and as many diamonds come out of her mouth, desired her to tell him how that happened. She hereupon told him the whole story, and so the king's son fell in love with her, and considering himself that such a gift would be worth more than any marriage portion, conducted her to the palace of the king his father, and there he married her. As for her sister, she made herself so hated that her own mother disowned her, and the miserable child, having wandered about a good while without finding anyone to take her in, went to the corner of the woods, and there she passed alone. The end. Thank you for this time. Good night.